As a people, this is BLAPPS TARK. I am BLAPPS, Better Living and Positive Propaganda System, talking about real knowledge. Welcome. This is your show. This is for you. It's all done for you, people. And what we do here, we talk about what's happening in the last week, what's happening in the future, blah, blah, blah. But we talk about it in 4 different ways. We talk about what's happening over here, what's happening over there. There's what's happening in the celebrity and community world. And of course, we end with what sparks me off. Because I'm an angry guy. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but I'm a very angry person. I've done many of these shows, many hundreds of these shows. And in each show, I've managed to find something that sparks me off. And it's always relatable to yourself. You're going through it like I'm going through it. So I'm sharing my problem to halve the problem. Sharing is caring. So let's get to it. As usual, I open with my rebellious music. So we're going to be talking about what sparks me off at the end. Before that is celebrity community. Before that is over there. And before that is over here. What I did there, I did it in reverse. I could do it forward and back. Don't matter. Okay, so come in, get comfortable, bring up whatever subject you want to bring up as well. Why not? Let's have it all. Let's have it all. And if you feel like you've got something to say about what I've just brought up, that's cool too. So what I'm going to ask you to do is listen to what I'm bringing, make a comment on it. Towards the end, make a comment on anything that we've talked about today, and also what you want to bring up. So it's all good. My audience are my people that come in. You. So you can come in, register, come in, and join us and have your problems too. Let's all talk about it. So, get it on. Love that. So, over here, we're talking about the budget. Now, we're not talking about the boring part. Oh, who's taxing this? How much percentage of inflation is going to be? What are you going to do to curb this, that, and the other? They're not paying for anything we care about, and we're not paying. We're paying far too much money all the time to things that have nothing to do with us. It's wars and stuff. You know what I mean? It's things they started to keep the coffers for themselves in their own world. You know what I mean? So it's crazy, but we're going to talk about the budget and how little it affects, not affects us because it affects everyone, you know, affects everyone, but how it affects everyone. So I'm talking about no one really cares. You know, they did a budget. Yeah, what's for tea? They don't care. People don't care anymore because in the long run, it's about them showing the next party, you know, the election's coming up. So we're going to try and get as many voters to our side. Oh, look, they've raised pension rates. They've lowered this tax and blah, blah. That's good for us. We save ourselves £150 next year because let's vote for Tory. No, don't work like that, people. They're only setting something that they can row about in the Commons until the election's over, and then they'll go right back to what they wanted to do before. Oh, yeah, we thought it was going to work out, but it didn't work out. Trends told us this, but then we found out that. And so therefore we cannot do that tax lowering. We have to raise taxes instead. And if any tax cuts they do now, I told you I'm going to talk about tax, but any tax cuts they do now, we will get rises in the future to temper it, you know, to balance it out to what, you know, they need to do that. And that's why tax was introduced in the first place. We all know who introduced it. The Illuminati. Yeah, they introduced death and taxes. That's all you're going to know this. this lifetime. That's all you're going to know about. It's two certain things. You're going to be taxed and you're going to die. Anywho, trying to promise not to talk about tax, but promises come to a fool. We have to. But the budget is a thing that comes around every so often. They try those things every year, no? But like, if you ask me who, I mean, it's Jeremy Hunt in charge of it, and he came out proud as punch with his little red back box and everything, and suitcase, and you know, I've got something nice here. The last person that brought out a budget was that geezer. No one can remember. A lettuce beat him. You know, a lettuce lasted longer than he lasted as Chancellor of the Exchequer. And another person who didn't last very long. Oh my gosh, what's her name? Wow, that's incredible. That's just out of my head. You know when that happens, it really gets my nerves. You know what I'm saying? But it will come back to me. It'll come back to me. That woman who lasted like a couple of months or something. Why is that at my brain? Anyway, don't matter. Yeah, anyway, she brought him in and he did a crap budget. He was out in half a month, like 3 weeks or something. And lettuce was like, sure, I win. And everyone was taking a mick out of him. African descent geezer. Oh, well, they don't matter anymore, do they? You know, that's how long they lasted. We don't even have to remember their names. The ones that are in power now we're interested in, and they need to vacate real quick. Now, we've talked about this in the last few weeks. We've talked about Sadiq Khan, the mayor, London. He needs to go. We talked about Sunni, what's his name? Rishi Sunak, Rishi Sunak. He needs to go. We've talked about a lot of these people that have just been in their jobs for far too long, and their agendas are clear. We discussed it, and just like anything they've got to say about what they're determined to do, we know it's falling on deaf ears because they're not going to be around. Keir Starmer's going to be the next leader of the country. And I'm not saying it because I've voted Labour all my life and I've been T&G rep and all this kind of stuff. I'm saying that because the Tories have been in for far too long and we're fed up of them and we don't care what they've got to say, which is why I brought up the subject of the budget today. I don't care. Just get out. I don't care I don't care if you want to give me 50 quid more. Get out. We don't like you anymore. Go away. They're leaving. And so this is what they're trying to do, is poison the well. So when Labour do come in, they've got a lot of clearing up to do. And then they can say, see, you shouldn't have let them in. Look what they've done. Look what they've done. Look while they're in. Because any budget they put in now is going to affect what happens in the next couple of years. It don't happen overnight. These things happen in a couple of years. So just when the Labour's into the swing of everything and they're still struggling to get the world back to a normality, whatever the hell that is, they're going to have this extra burden of settling inflation and raising, bringing the economy together, and unemployment and massive shortages of everything and rising prices because they're not in the EU anymore, blah, blah, blah. It goes on forever and ever and ever. And that's what they're going to leave behind, and they know it. So that's why they've made this, whatever was in the budget, I don't even care what's in the budget. If they said to me, oh, they're putting up nurses' wages by 10%, I'd be like, yeah, good. What about that? Why is that in the budget? Why don't they just do that? Why has that got to be in a budget? You know what I'm saying? It's like things they should have been doing while they were in power, they have not done. They have not bothered to do. And all they're interested in doing is holding it down until the election comes and they could just sneak in and do it again for the next 4 years. And they've been at it for 14 years, 13 years. Tories £1 million, 13 years. That's ridiculous. I think it's 13 years. Far too long. They know they're leaving. That's why they've put behind a budget, and no one cares what's in the budget. They just want them out, and then we'll clear up afterwards. So basically, it's a nod towards the next party coming in. Look what crap we're leaving on your doorstep to deal with. Have fun with that. And the Labour are just going to argue about it. Blah, 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 sit down. 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 And that's all we see on the Parliament. They're just arguing about the budget they put out until the election comes. And then we don't have to talk about all that time has been diverted away. All that energy has been diverted away from the real problems going on. Gaza, yeah, Ukraine, yeah, all that stuff that we're backing up and everyone's vexed about. You didn't talk about it. You talked about the ridiculous budget. So this is what's happening. Also, George Galloway's coming. He's back. The man from representing Rochdale. He's back, George Galloway. And he said, yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, thanks, I'm back. Yeah. So Gaza, what are you doing about that? As soon as he didn't even sit down, man started chatting about Gaza. He said the election coming up will be about Gaza. And what is Rishi Sunak doing to stop it? So this cripples Labour's chances, this cripples Rishi Sunak's chances, but because I've always said it, is a coin, Labour, Tory, doesn't matter. It's the same coin, two sides. They've got different ways of doing the exact same thing. So Keir Starmer is not going to be coming out of Gaza. Definitely not. He's not coming out of Gaza. If Israel decide to keep bombing, he's not going to be saying, you know what, aim a bit sharper, please. Can you make sure you hit the enemy instead of the innocents? Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, stop bombing the hospitals that you built bunkers underneath. You know, that's over now. Come on, man. Let's move on. Let's get a bit more info. Use your people. What's their people called? Israeli. My brain is wrecked today. The intelligence people, Mossad. That's it. Mossad. Yeah, go and get the intelligence. Not like, okay, your iron cover, your iron, what's it called? Your iron cage that shoots down missiles and stuff like that. Didn't work for a couple of hours. That's strange, isn't it? Been looking for the last, like, God knows how many decades, but now, just because these people have been planning a strike that you knew about, and then they got in, and you knew that they were coming in, and then they came in and killed a few hundred people, and then you killed 10,000, 20,000, I think it is now. 12,000 of them are children. And, you know, when is it not a genocide? When is it not against the rules of war? When is it not an atrocity? When does it become that? Is it 50,000 people? 55,000 people? When is it? They're not getting any aid. Even if the war stopped today, all right, no more barrage, no more carpet bombing, no more this, that, and the other. We're stopping today. It's Monday. It will be 10 years before they get to. I mean, look what happened in Haiti. They had an earthquake in Haiti. You look at pictures of Haiti now, there's still buildings flat. There's still flattened buildings. People ain't done nothing about them. They just made up stuff around them. What are they going to do? Where are they going to move to? The amount of crap they've had to deal. That's why there's there's currently right now in Haiti, there's it's a civil war going on because the aid that goes into Haiti is taken up by the gangs, and the gangs are controlling everything. All the money that comes into help, all the money that comes into sorting out new buildings, and they've taken on that. They're the new mafia. You know what the mafia does? The mafia takes control whenever there's any massive money from the government. Mafia wants their cut. They want their taste. They're all will burn the whole thing down, and no one gets anything. So they have to be placated. And so the Haitians have seen that model work, and they've continued. No one's stopping these people from coming in and taking over. There's no government because the government is corrupt with them. And it carries on. As long as the big elites get paid, that's what happens. So Labour knows they're getting in the next election. They're getting in, might be by a little or a lot, but it's kind of obvious that Rishi Sunak's days are numbered. There's nothing much he can do about it. But they will have to take up, because we're at war. They will have to continue and take up for, their allies, which is Israel. And they're under pressure because the people in Gaza look like the Prime Minister. Even though he's not swayed that way, blah, 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 it's got nothing to do with them. They don't see it that way. They see it, he's one of us. Why is he with the other side? What's going on? What do you mean he's for the UK and the UK is not? So what? But he's running the country. Look at their mayor. He looks the same. He's getting attacked. I don't get it. I thought they were all the same. So it's a weird position for these people to be in when they come into a new gut. They start to take over the government and run the country, but they can't just say, right, we're withdrawing our troops, we're withdrawing our funding, we're withdrawing. They can't just do that overnight, and we can't expect them to. But they would have to come with either a brilliant agreement to end, cessate all attacks and come to a massive agreement, either two-state agreement. But even Hamas, they don't want no two-state. They just want them out forever. That's it. No, go away. You occupied us. We're fed up of that. That's over. Get out. How are you going to move 9 million people that need to move? This is no longer your home. Go find somewhere else. They took 80 years, 75 years, whatever years, to get this place under some kind of control. And what they're saying to you is, yeah, we'll cease fire. Give us all the hostages back. You don't get no airport. You don't get nothing, no ports to control. You don't get anything that we can't control. And then we'll see if we can let some of you back in. But you'll be in a prison state. You know that, right? You'll be in just the way it was before, if not worse, because you'll be able to live in the mash up prison. We mashed up. we mashed it up, and so you can go live in there if you can. What are they coming back to? There's nothing to come back to. And so Labour are going back into a hell-like position, and this budget says nothing about that. They just want to make the budget as ridiculously difficult to get over in the next couple of years as possible, to leave as much rubbish on Labour's lap, so everyone can say, look, Labour messed this up. We trust you to make good on what these madmen have done over the last decade. But look at you messed it up. You can't give Labour 4 years to sort out this crap. You've got to give them at least 8, 10, 12 years to sort this out, because it's embedded. from the time when my man was in power, and he come out with, we've got to bind our wallets, you know. We've got to save our money. Yeah, we've got yeah, David Cameron was talking about, we've got to sew the wallet shut and save money in all councils and bring the massive spending under control. And he had the audacity to say, "Yeah, I understand what you're going through," while we were open up food banks by the dozen around the country. We can't food, and then Sunak come in, and it was all about, we can't afford electric, we can't afford gas, and we can't eat. The food banks are telling us galang, you know what I mean? Food banks are overrun. It's crazy. It's crazy. We're supposed to be 21st century Britain, one of the richest countries in the world, but we got no money to feed our own people. Crazy situation. That budget means nothing. So if you've got something to say about the budget, come on in, bruh. Come on in. I don't mind. Let's talk about it. If George Galloway gets his way, he will steer the conversation around to Gaza and make the voting be about the next person that gets into power or stays in power will have to sort out Gaza or have a plan to sort out Gaza before the vote. That's what he's trying to achieve. And you can't say he'll have no influence. He's only one man, blah, blah, blah. But he's a man with a massive mouth. And he got thrown out the Labour Party. Tony Blair dashed him out because he was just too amped. He was talking about a war again, Iraq, you know. He was cussing out Tony, telling him it's a legal war, you're a war criminal, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. And Tony was just like, what the? You're my boy, man. What's the matter with you? You can't keep saying these stuff. But George. And George's like, I don't give a damn what you think, man. You're out of order. You sent our troops over here. You did it, and it's out of order. You're just following America, and that's why you're over there, and blah, blah, blah. Allies and allies. And again, stealing people's resources under the pretense of a war. Getting people under control on the pretense of a war. Controlling, in this case, a trade channel in the form of a shipping channel, you know, where Egypt is, kind of, you know. So the strip there is supplied by the Suez Canal, and it was engineered. There was land there. They took away the land and make a strip so Europe can be connected to India, and then that's why now everyone wants to control it. You know, this is why Islam went all the way over to Egypt again, because they wanted to recapture control of those ports and become very powerful. And this is why Israel's position is so important, where they're positioned on the map. Britain was running it. They had control over it, and they needed somewhere to repatriate their people. And they chose that place to call Israel. They chose a piece of land decreed by their God. Very coincidental, very handy. That, oh yeah, that's a promised land, and it belongs to you, my child. Who, me? The ones that look like, or the ones that look like. So now Someone's got to explain that to me one day. Someone's going to explain this to me. How these people control because they say because their book says they control that part of the world because their book says so that they should. No, it's because the banks are owned by these people. You say no, they're not. Well, who the Rothschilds then? They set up the whole of Europe, a banking system, and finance wars on both sides for hundreds of years. Several decades, several decades. They finance both sides of the war. This is why there's all kinds of talk going on about it wasn't a family. You're talking about a people did that. No, it was a family who just happened to be Jewish. and that's fine. They did what they did, and you let them do it, and we voted the people in that helped them to do it, and are now under their cosh in to power to enable them to keep their power. So now when a war comes up against the people that are historically against them in the same part of the land, you have to side with your ally, no matter how many few of them there are. There's 300 million people, 330 million people live in America, 75 million people living in the UK. That's 400 million people. You've got the backing of the world's biggest armies for 18 million people. Make it make sense, man. How many atrocities have happened in Africa and you haven't you said in the UN, well, you better sort yourself out, we'll have sanctions on you, or you can't take over Congo and kill 10 million people, we'll put sanctions on you. That never happened. That never happened. And I've got friends, both Jewish and both Islamic, into Islam, and they both asked me, where do you sit? I said, I'm right here on the outside the gate looking at you two fighting across your fence. That's where I am. I'm on the street watching you two fight across the fence of both your gardens. I find it hysterical that you would ask me to join the fight because it's in my land, your ancestors' land we're fighting. I'm like, where the hell do you get off even asking me how I feel about it? I mean, it's nothing to do with me. It's nothing to do with my people. As a matter of fact, it takes the mick out of my people, as far as I'm concerned. And when I say my people, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a certain color or even a race of people. It's just the people of that land are the original Israelites. People of that land, the original Muslims. People of that land were living in peace for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. And then you finally found oil, 1917, in that area of the world, and now all wars are religious. No, they're not. Bullshit. What should I say? Bovine deification. It's absolute rubbish. It's just your excuse. So that's what we're talking about in over here. The budget is meaningless. It's just a trap for you to, you know, ooh, look at that. Look at shiny thing over there. It's meaningless budget. Oh yeah, come on. I had stuff to show you. I haven't set up my own video either. Oh my gosh. Okay. There you go. So over here, this is a slide I want to show you. Oh boy. But yeah, this is a 2024 budget. That was today, I think it was today, yeah. And I just find it very, very amusing that these people can I'm trying to figure out stuff still, you know. It's very annoying that stuff I want happening is not happening and I do my sharing and stuff like that. And it was much better when I was professional people who understood what I wanted and did it before I even turned up. Right. Okay, so over there we're talking about now. Moving on. And at this point, I just want to tell you that this whole show is sponsored by the Warriors Workshop. Warriors Workshop is a group of 5 companies. One of them being the CDMA, the Community Development of Martial Arts, which is a wanted group, anti-bullying group that deals with mediation, mentoring, coaching, mediation of parties in a school most of the time. But we can mediate between spouses, businesses, all kinds of things. We just like settle conflict. We're specialists in conflict communication and conflict management. And that's what we do. We use our skills in diplomacy, martial arts, experience in war to bring about peace in your world. And we do it from Luton and various areas of the world. There's 17 areas of the world, the last one being South Africa. We've got people in South Africa using our principles and our methods to go into schools in their area and find peace for those people as well. We have a website. It's on cdma.uk.com. You have to put in https://cdma.uk cdma.uk.com. Yeah, /. And you'll bring up the website and you'll be able to see all our services, our initiatives. We have 9 initiatives, 3 for mind, 3 for body, 3 for spirit, and they are about pressure testing using the techniques that you'd learn in each initiative to cultivate confidence and high self-esteem, to defeat fear and doubt, which are the main culprits when it comes down to becoming bullied or bullying someone. If you have a lack of confidence or a lack of self-esteem, you will bully or be bullied. Simple thing. So we raise the confidence in the children because that's our main focus for our activities. We do going to a lot of schools as professional martial artists. We go to schools and deliver the martial arts anti-bullying collective. And we do go in and teach Warriors Life classes. We do teach BLAPPS, which is a philosophy. And we do teach ambition development, real life classes, real education classes, which deal with helping you to use the Marshall method to understand how to learn anything. We have courses. We have courses in free running. Well, in ambition development, sorry. and we have courses in we have ambition development courses, Warriors Life classes. We have BLAPPS philosophy courses. We have meditation and Taoism class. like we have 3 for Mind, 3 for Water, 3 for Spirit. And we basically have an academy where you can come in off the street and access the initiatives and bring your children, and they can go through each initiative over time. They choose 3 until they get through all 9. So once they've done 3, they stop and they choose another 3, or they stay on the same 3. It's up to them until they've thoroughly finished each initiative, and then they move on. So we got free running, elite free runners. We have stunt and film elite. We have all the rest. I think I've covered everything now. Oh yeah, the MAP, the martial arts professional, which is basically kung fu classes, martial arts classes, whatever martial art that you're going to learn. You learn the system in classes, yes. And that is the 9. I think I've covered them all. So come in, join us, go to the CDMA. We're at Marsh House, or you can call us on 01582 876 618, and we'll arrange either private tuition for you, online tuition for you, for your children, real education classes, or we'll meet you at Marsh House, and we'll soon be opening up a separate building, and it'll be a whole centre like we used to have when we were in town centre. It was 8,000 square foot building, beautiful place. Like we said, we were in there for a couple of years. We were giving away books, just giving away educational books, just giving away all kinds of books, just every day to people. You could have 5 books a day. We were doing that, and we were playing music, and we were educating the children, we were educating the adults, we were giving small business startup advice. We were doing support for well-being. We were doing well-being, Tai Chi and yoga, and we're doing meditation classes. We were doing capoeira, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Wing Chun, early free runners, Tai Chi. We did capoeira there as well. We had discussion group. We had African history. It was beautiful. We were learning languages there. It was an awesome place. And we're going to restart it and do it again. In this year, so the building that we are in now is temporary. It's a temporary place, a wonderful place. Go to visit Marsh House. You'll love it. Very welcoming people there. And they will sort you out space to learn music, studio work. They've got LUR radio there. They've got Revolution there, arts, and there's a lot of things to be done in Marsh House Community Centre, run by Outreach, and they've got a massive future. They're doing so many things right there these days, and we're just glad that people can find us there, because it's a wonderful place. Yeah, when we get ours going, it will just be just be an expansion of what we're doing right now, you know. So we do need a lot of space, and Marsh House is great, but when you need to have a martial arts class with 30 people in it, we need a lot more room. We need to have punch bags, and we need to have stuff like that. So we can't always do everything we want to do in this place, but it was after COVID we got in there, but it's great. It's awesome. We had we will continue to deliver everything the CDMA does and hand it down to the next person and make sure it continues, because it's a community. It's a community support group. We don't envision that the community is going to change much. So if we've got problems today, we're going to have them in the future. We just need to have a more direct method of dealing with them, rather than just talk and talk. We'll have a place where you can say, I know I can go to sort this out. We'll go to the CDMA and find out. We'll go to one of their people's peace portals, and sort it out there. So yeah, that's what we had in 2016, People's Peace Portal. People used to come in there, they loved it. And they used to pop their head in and like, what the hell is this? And then they step back out, the hustle and bustle, and then walk in again, and they're like, wow, this place is really cool. Books, piano, drum kit. They're like, what is this place? Is it a shop? Can I buy the drum kit? Can I sing on the microphone over there? Can I play music I want? Can I do what? And we'll be just going, yeah, you can do it. Yeah. And I'm just like, how much does it cost? And it's cool. Just come in, just do it. You know what I mean? Suggested donations and stuff like that. It was very cool, and we're going to redo it because it needs to be done. Anywho, that was my massive advert for the Warriors Workshop CDMA. Other things Warriors Workshop do is Warriors Security, Warriors Wing Chun Kung Fu School, Warriors Workshop Martial Arts Center, Martial Arts Academy, sorry, and we also have fightme.uk.com and BLAPPS People Productions, which is all about my media, what I do, like these shows and my books and stuff that I'm up to. Anywho, over there, eventually we got to it. Now then, where the hell is? Let's bring back my share screen. Why isn't it showing? Ah, there we go. Keeps moving around. That's crazy. Okay, so over there. Over there, Trump supporters. Trump supporters got a shock, especially the people that are far right supporters of Donald Trump got a shock when he made when he produced his photograph on his Truth Social network, and it's crazy photo, doctored, of course, digitally manipulated. What is going on here? I'm having little technicals. Don't worry, we'll be on soon. What's going on? That's crazy. Okay. Okay. Well, this is the picture that Donald Trump produced. Why can't? Okay. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So basically, what I want to talk about is Donald Trump. It's not even this. It's Donald Trump has been fined £350 million in a fraud case. And because this picture came up to me today, I decided to run this picture because it just shows you the man is absolute fraud. He's a con man. This is what he does. He's a trickster. He just does this all his life. He's been bankrupt 6 times. He's going to be bankrupt again in the next year or so for a seventh time because he can't afford to pay this massive fine for fraud. You know, his company is found guilty of fraud. He basically inflated the the not the cost, but the worth of his buildings. When it came down to a tax audit, he would lower them again and say they're hardly worth anything, so I don't have to pay any tax on them. And then when it comes to selling something or something like that, or estimating to get a loan, he would inflate them again and say, "Oh, look, that place that I bought for 5 million is now worth 140 million because it's got my name on it." And now he's been found guilty. His company is found guilty. His children, his grown-up children who were running the company for him while he was president, they've been found guilty. The whole corporation is guilty. They can't do any more work in New York for the next 3 years, which doesn't sound like it's a massive, you know, dent to their progress or anything, but it is. Believe me, he is all about I am the king of New York. I'm the gangster of New York. It's not Bumpy Johnson. It's not Frank. Frank. What was it? Castle. Frank Castle. Frank Lucas. My bad. It's not Frank Lucas. It's me. I'm the bad man in New York. And you know, he's trying to make out everyone he's the most powerful person in the world because he runs out of New York. But now New York has banned him 3 years. He can't do no work here, which means he can't make no money. He literally can't make any money. He's like the businesses were all operating out of New York. That's why he's trying to frantically move things to Florida in order to say, "Oh yeah, now we sold that. That's gone. You can't put that in my in the docket for what, you know, my things that I own, assets and stuff like that. You can't use that. It's someone in Florida owns that now. It's nothing to do with me. It's not my brother. It's not my friend. Someone that bought it." Man's a total fraudster, thinks he knows all the tricks, and now it's all coming home to roost. And the E.G. Carroll case, remember, he's got 4 indictments. One, E.G. Carroll rape case. You can't say the grape case. The sexual assault case. All right. He had to pay out. He was found, you know, defamation of character, all this kind of stuff, slander, defaming their name and all that. It's 5 million. And then he got done again because as soon as he come out the court case, he said, yeah, she's eating sis and she's slut. I wouldn't have never done it, blah, blah, defame again. Go back to court, 85 million now, sharp. Learn to shut up. So now he has to find money to pay off both the 85 million and the 350 million in a month. And the one that the sexual assault case is due. His 30 days has gone since he was fined for that case. That's a civil case, and so is this one. It's a civil case. That's why he's not going to get any jail time for it. He's just going to get fined. But the 2 left that he's got to that indictment, one was the documents, and the other one was running an insurrection. You know, being the cause of an insurrection that people have already gone to prison for. Hundreds of people have gone to prison for and got 8 years, 6 years, 12 years, 20 years, all this kind of, for that one day, January 6th, 2021. And it was him, the cause. He was like, yeah, go down there, take back our country. These people are out of order. I won the election, won by a landslide. They didn't win. I'm in. Go back there and take it back for me and get it back because I never lose. So go and get that stuff that I lost. So they went down there and they mashed down the place, calling for the heads of people in government and even the then Vice President, Mike Pence. And they were going to hang him if they ever got hold of him, they would have hung him. right? They were in the mood, put it that way. They came equipped, they came prepared, they came with intention, and that's why they went to prison. It's not like, oh, we're just a little angry and we're just here. Like, we're here, so we came to listen to our guy, but he told us to go down there, so we just thought we'd meet him there and have a little chat outside. But he got a bit rambunctious, and so we got a bit out of hand, and we decided to take the whole capital and destroy the whole place and defecate on tables and you know, get so angry and frightening to the police force that was there that one of us got shot. Yeah, and police got injured. I think 3 people got killed. 2 people got killed. I don't remember that, but a lot of people got injured, and a lot of people were running for their lives and escaping. Like Mike Pence, he went out the back door. You know what I mean? Nancy Pelosi was there at the time. You know, wrote a book about it and everything. So yeah, he is the instigator. He's the one responsible for it. And there was this indictment about if he's going to be tried for that. When he's going to be tried for that, is he guilty of insurrection? So he come out with this cock and bull bullshit, Hail Mary of an argument that as a president, he's got immunity. And the first court said, shut up, no, you haven't. That means that you could do anything and you could shoot someone in the face on camera and no one could do nothing about it because you're president. That's rubbish. And that also means, by the way, crazy, clever man, that Biden could now shoot you in the face because he's immune as a president. How do you like that? Yeah, so you don't like that, and you shut up then. But like, he put it to the, he goes, all right, since you don't agree, we'll go to the Supreme Court. And everyone thought, Supreme Court will laugh this out. But of course, he put 4 judges into the Supreme Court while he was president. And so they were like, if he does get in, then he's going to be pretty mad at us that we didn't back him up on this. So, and if he doesn't get in, then it's cool. But we then have to resign. So, not resign, retire. That's it. So let's just see what happens and say we're going to talk about it. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Let's listen to your arguments. When do we listen to them? Not April, and then you have to push that to August. So therefore, we'll probably have immunity by the back door. And so, because it will run after the election, and if he wins, he'll just say everyone's dead now. Everyone's dead now. Thanos, you know, just he'll just Thanos it. And make everyone, you're illegal, you're illegal. What do you mean I'm illegal? You're illegal, you're out, get out, you're fired, you're fired. That's my favorite thing to say, you know. You're fired, and you stop looking at me like that. It's fired, you're fired. And just recreate laws, and it would be total terror for the whole world. It would be an amazing thing. And it just, there's going to be a film made of this guy's life one day, or a television series, you know, because you can't tell this story in 2 hours. There's going to be a series made about it. It's going to be I Own the World, Donald Trump. I'm Donald Trump. I own the world. I think I own. And I don't know what's good, but I'm copyrighting that right now. And yeah, but it's going to be a story of complete and utter madness, narcissism. He was a total joke when he was a president. During COVID, he racked the whole country. 1 million people died under his watch. Because he didn't activate anything, he didn't get anything sorted out. Oh, it'll go away. It'll be like a breeze. It'll be like a cold. It'll go away. Don't worry, but stop, calm down. It'll be fine. How many people dead? 100,000. It's a lot of people. I wonder if I can get away with this. Yeah, just put some bleach in them. Yeah, put some bleach. We can inject it, like a cleansing, a cleaning. That's fine. Well, it sounds interesting. We'll do that. You know, we'll try that. How many people dead now? 400,000. Working out. How many injections have we got left? We haven't got any injections. Yeah, I think it's time to get the injections going. This man is a disaster in everything he does because he thinks everything is about him. And all he did while he was president was try to destroy anyone that that didn't agree with him when he wasn't a president. And now he's not a president. He has to get back into power to protect himself from going to jail. But even now, we've found out that he can still go to jail because he's not President Trump anymore. And even if he is president, it doesn't mean you can do things that are illegal. So if you're found guilty and you go to jail, you can still be president, but you'll be in jail when you do it. And people don't understand that. They think, oh yeah, he will never go to jail because he's got diplomatic immunity. But nah, it doesn't work like that. People have told him that his best bet is to get the Supreme Court before you're not president. While you're president, get people in the Supreme Court so they can protect you while you're out. You know what I mean? They'll see it as, you know, they owe you something because you got them into the world's best job kind of thing, making law for America or constituting, you know what I mean, deciding on what's real and what's not real. In law. And so, yeah, it's a crazy thing that he put this photo out. But my question is pretty much, is Trump going to pay for all the fraudulent behavior? Is he going to pay for it by not winning the election? Is this going to finally backfire on him? All the shenanigans, all the stuff that he did illegal, grabbing women by the vagina, doing whatever he wants, sexual assaults, banning Roe v. Wade, not acting on immigration. It just goes on and on with this guy. He's just so terrible. He's worst. He was voted worst president in history. He is 46 or 46. And he's still going on about, I'm better than Biden. I'm better than Biden is the worst president in history. When Biden brought down inflation, he's raised he's defeated unemployment. It's next to nothing now, for the lowest has been in decades. Wiped away student debt, 150 billion. 100 billion. Buy. No more debt. Student, crazy stuff. But he's got nothing to run on, to the point where Trump said to the Republican Party, don't do a bipartisan agreement on immigration and the border, protecting our home security. I'll have nothing to run on. So defeat it. Don't let it pass. You know, I need to argue with him on something, so don't let it pass. Now Biden has gone and done a speech saying, why are you trying to argue with me on immigration? Why don't you just join me on it? Like, we were going to do this, but you stopped it. He's made sure that everyone knows it's down to him why it didn't go through. So if he comes back at you in an election and we start discussing why I should be the next leader or he should be the next leader, just remember he was the one that stopped that, and that's why he's arguing about it now. He's got nothing to argue with Biden about. Can't talk about inflation, can't talk about economy, can't talk about prison, can't talk about nothing. And even though the only thing he can now argue with is he's older than me, what, by 4 years? And you chat utter nonsense, whereas Biden is sound. He might do a little foolhardy slip ups, like we all do that. But he's still running the country. Look at the results of his madness. Look at the results of your madness. You're going to prison. You have to pay fines you can't pay back. He's pleading poverty. After telling everyone, I'm a billionaire, I'm so rich, I'm really rich, I'm really rich. Now he's pleading poverty. The man is a fake. From his hair, which is fake hair, bald underneath that, down to his feet, which are very small, got bone spurs in them. Oh, no, they haven't got bone spurs. Oh, that's fake as well. Okay. Incredible. If my dad was alive today, he would be non-stop talking about this guy. Just, why does he exist? Why is he still in government? How did he become president? Why are these people voting for him? What the hell is going on with his hair? It would be every day something about Trump. Dad, what's the problem now? The man's still alive, man. We can't do nothing about that. I know you don't like him. Dad, you told me last night you're not going to kill him, Dad. Dad, you're not going to go to America and kill him. Just leave the man be. He'll be out soon. I would have to calm my dad. Oh my gosh, it'd be so crazy. But anyway, this man was a joke when he was a president, and he's a joke now. He's running for it again. Everyone's beginning to see the light. His own people. Nikki Haley has dropped out the race, so now it's Biden and Trump in the election. They're head to head again. Nikki Haley brought away from the Republican Party 40%, 45%, I think, of the vote, which means that he only had 50 odd percent. Which now in the past, people have pulled out. If you were president already and a run up to an election, someone else was on the ballot and said, I've got 40% of the Republican vote, you would just say, all right, fuck it, you have it. Because they don't like me, obviously, they like you. No, you just say, I'm out, peace. But now, because it's Donald Trump and, he's never wrong, he's going to find out soon. You're going to learn today. He's going to find out soon that he's going to pay back. It's 430 million, 460 million nearly. When you count in all the stuff, the fines and everything, because it's 100,000 a day in interest. He has to pay back the bond. He has to pay the bond into escrow account, stays in escrow account, and then he appeals, right? But he can't appeal it until he's paid the money into the escrow account. So every time he's saying, I'll pay next week, I'll pay next week, I'll pay the bond next week, I'll pay the bond next week, he's got 30 days to pay the bond, right? So every day is £100,000 added to it. So when he eventually gets the money, he has to pay the extra 3 mil on top of that and then put it in escrow account so the appeal can go forward. But he has to have the money to do it. So he has to sell off all his assets to pay for that bond. And if he gets a loan from someone else, it's like borrowing. If you're borrowing like 500 mil, which you'll have to borrow pretty much 500 mil, it's 600 mil. You're borrowing. Because 100 million is interest, right? So he's never paying back. And who is going to lend him after his history? Which lender is paying? Not even Deutsche Bank is looking at the laundering service of the Russian mob is going to allegedly. He quickly said, "Oh, Deutsche Bank, right, would take on that, And there's people out there that have got serious billions. Suppose he goes to Jeff. What, Jeff, mate? What, geez, the old man? You got under 40 bill. You know what I mean? Tied up in shares and all kinds of stuff, and you're on Amazon, you know, pay for that. You must have a few millions you could lend me, or you can lend me. You're not exactly a good businessman, are you? Where would I get my money back from? True Social. You're going to have to sell it off. Your buildings, you don't own them. You're only in name alone, you own them. And you've got an apartment in your buildings. Everyone else owns Trump Tower. Trump Tower has got apartments. It's got loads of apartments in it, and they're sold off to people. So the people that own apartment own a part of Trump Tower. So there's many stars, obviously. You know, some of them are dead, and so the ancestors, the people, descendants, the people that the heirs to their assets are now part owners of Trump Tower. They could obviously be people that don't like Trump. Give me my money. Yeah, full amount, please, thanks. Yeah, I don't like you. What do you mean? I don't have to have a reason. I don't like you, bro. Give me my full amount. I bought it for 2 mil. I want 7. So selling his stock in True Social, again a problem because he has to wait months before he can acquire the stock and then sell it off as soon as he acquires it, which is not fair on the stakeholders. So therefore, the stakeholders have to have a leeway time, which is about 6 months before he can sell. So he has to find the money 3 weeks. That's not going to help him. It might help to pay back his creditor, whomever that might, whoever crazy man that might be. But yeah, he's defeated and he's on his way, and it's crippling everything he does. Melania's getting divorced from him. What, did not know about that? She raises divorce from when he was president. When he was president, she was already, yeah, this is what I want. I don't care if he runs for 4 years. If he runs for 12 minutes, I want divorce. And we saw that coming. Come on, man. We saw that coming. Yeah, all these people back. Have you seen anyone that isn't another defeated person backing this guy? Everyone that's in with Trump is either a criminal, has been um, screwed over by him, has been manipulated by him, works for him, and is waiting for their payout, and so has to keep being nice, or he won't pay them out at all. Um, yeah, all the people that he's working with, the 14, 15 people while he was president resigned. That's incredible. You're supposed to be a massive businessman, deal maker. You can't find people to do the job. You got your brother, your son-in-law, to do stuff to make deals with Saudi Arabia. He's not an international consultant. He's not a finance man. He's just a estate agent. Why is he in control of so many things? Defense and economy and everything. Why? Because he's your son-in-law. That's crazy. He hasn't got what? He hasn't got a security clearance, and he's in charge of what? It's hilarious. When I saw all the nepotism going on, his daughter, his son, blah blah, I was like, come on, man. Can people not see? I know Jackie Kennedy, yeah, one of those. But this is on the ridiculous. It's like the whole cabinet was made up of his mates. And when you saw pictures of the cabinet, there's only one black guy. Token. Oh boy, this is hilarious. But we watched it for 4 years, and if there was 30 comedians got rich on jokes about Trump. They became hugely successful on jokes, making up jokes about Trump over for 4 years, and it was just like, what's he going to do today? What's he going to do today? This is crazy. It's Monday. He did that craziness, and we thought, oh my god, you can't top that. Tuesday, he said, hold my beer, and did some next craziness every single day he was in government as the president. He did some crazy shit that we were like, no, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. You've got no respect for yourself, bro. That's your boss. Bro, I've got things to say about you. You made yourself look a total pleb when he was there. And if you're backing him up, and he's got sycophants and people up his ass, just saying how awesome he is, and he's a great leader. He's like, I love it. And he's just, come on, man. What? You know what you look like. You look like you need to brush your nose off, you know. Anywho, next we're going on to. We've got no one coming in to talk about. I know I'm doing something wrong, people. People, when it comes down to the invites to come into this show and talk with me, I know I'm doing something wrong now, and it's every week. But you know, I'm so happy talking to myself. I don't mind. But it's better when we have people in here and we're chatting about it. You know, just get my point of view, get other people's point of view. But I'm doing something wrong. I don't know what it is. I'm going to have to find out. And it happened one week where I really did mess it up. I know what I did. I know I did wrong. I did something wrong. And I thought, oh, that's okay. You know, people will come in once they realise, you know, but the week before we had people, the week after we had people, blah, blah. And then I did that mistake. And then after that, there's no one. I'm just like, what? But they know about the mistake and it's been corrected. So what's going on now? And I think I know what it is, but because there's another. When I was setting it up for Zoom, I think I made two groups, and I keep advertising the wrong group. I made two schedules, and I because I messed up the first one, I said, nah, I don't need that no more. But it kept going on. And so when I was doing my show, the other one was running, and people were waiting in that group. So I think it is that, but I haven't done it this week, so maybe they just don't trust me. But I'll find out. I'll ask them. I'm not scared. I'll ask them, find out, and eventually we'll have our audience back, and it'll be awesome, and it'll be much more intense. We have some great combos. Right. Right. Celebrity community today is about Dr. Umar Johnson. Now, I could have got a better picture of him, but this is a picture of a video. Okay, and now what I'm going to try and do is play that video, but the video is from my Facebook, so I'm going to have to. Yeah, Dr. Umar Johnson has gone in basically in an interview about churches and said blatantly, if the church doesn't provide, if the church is making like $250,000 a year in tithes and doesn't give back a school, a bank, and a garden to grow crops from in their own community, then they're fraudulent. They're out of order. You shouldn't go to that church. And I agree with them completely. Of course, I agree with them because I've been staunch. Not, I wouldn't say enemy, but you know, I've been calling out the churches for decades. They are scams to me. This is literally a scam in motion. It's just like you see a guy across the street, running a 3-card Monte scam on passers-by, and he's got all his people around him aiding him in the scam, placing bets and stuff like that. You're just like, all your parishioners are scam artists as well. They know this is all rubbish, but you're making money for you, all of you. You're all going to eat off this guy. And so when you see a church, I'm just like, oh, look, there's a scam office. Oh, look, there's a guy at the pulpit. He must be the chief scammer. Oh, look, the people, the parishioners around him, they're all in on the scam. So when you go in there and they say, church, praise the Lord, whatever they're saying, whatever religion it is, okay, Allah, whatever. I see the same thing. I see a huge building bringing in serious money, and they're only giving back 5% back to the community, which of course is a huge amount because they get paid so much. But because it's such a huge amount, suppose it's $1 million, they'd have to give back 50 grand. If they made $1 million a year, they may have to give back 50 grand back to the community. If you gave me 50 grand, I could start off multiple businesses, pay for all your, for a massive garden to be fixed up. I could build a school. I could do so much for 50 grand. Right? And this is what I'm saying with my CDMA, my community group. When I go for funding, I'm bringing back my people's peace portals, because that's exactly what was going on. We were helping small business, we were teaching people, and we were providing food, sustenance, people, because we had prepper school in there to deal with how to raise crops and stuff like that. So we had a prepper group in there. We got land. We got land to work on in 3 acres to work on. So that's what I was dealing with, and that's what Umar Johnson's talking about. Now, let me see. I know this may not work, but stand ready. I'm going to attempt it. Should I set it up first? Okay. I think this is going to work. I think it's going to work. I think it's going to work. Okay, share screen. There we go. This is going to be epic if it works. Sounds all sorted. Should come on. Should work. Everyone should be able to see this now. Start the show.
Take too much resources. Every black church should have 3 institutions. You should have a school for our kids, a bank to invest in our people, and you should have a community garden to feed our people good food. If you are bringing in at least $250,000 a year in tithes, and you ain't got a school, a bank, and a garden, you a goddamn fraud. I don't care who you are. Number 2, Joe, they take too much of our time. You can make that money back. You can't make your time back. Bible study, Sunday service, Sunday morning service, Sunday night service, gospel choir. Why are you taking all this time and you're not giving us nothing? And the third thing that they take from us that we can't afford to waste and have misuse is hope. The black church abuses our hope by constantly making you feel Jesus or Muhammad gonna come and make everything right when the time is right. And that's why black religion plays right into the hand of the white power structure. You know why? Because it has black people thinking they don't have to do shit but wait and pray in order to change their circumstances. And that's why Napoleon Bonaparte said what? Religion is what keeps the poor man from killing the rich one. You take 3 things from black people that we can't afford to waste and can't never get back. Number 1 is money. We take too much resources. Every black church should have 3 institutions. You should have a school for our kids, a bank to invest in our people, and you should have a community garden to feed our people good food. If you are bringing in at least $250,000 a year in tithes, and you ain't got a school, a bank, and a garden, you a goddamn fraud. I don't care who you are. Number 2, Joe, they take too much of our time. You can make that money back. You can't make your time back. Bible study, Sunday service, Sunday morning service, Sunday night service, gospel choir. Why are you taking all this time and you're not giving us nothing? And the third thing that they take from us that we can't afford to waste and have misuse is hope. The black church abuses us our hope by constantly making you feel Jesus or Muhammad gonna come and make everything right when the time is right. And that's why black religion plays right into the hand of the white power structure. You know why? Because it has black people thinking they don't have to do shit but wait and pray in order to change their circumstances. And that's why Napoleon Bonaparte said what? Religion is what keeps the poor man from killing the rich one. You take.
And there it is. Religion is what stops the poor man from killing the rich one. I totally agree. I think it's madness how long we've grown. It's taken for us to realize the churches give nothing back. They give absolutely nothing back. And when I say absolutely nothing back, of course, because they're 501c3, it's a tax code, they don't pay tax. So therefore, the only stipulations, pretty much, when it was laid down by these Americans, started this 501c2 tax code because they basically wanted to bring the church under control because, they control the minds of the people. So you control the minds, you've got their money, you control their money, you control the power, you got the power, you control everything. So basically, they gave them this tax code and they don't really audit them. It takes a lot to get an audit from the I.R.s. or whatever it is in America. So when they gave this 501c3, they said, right, the only stipulation, you can't say anything to your parishioners that is against your government. So if we do something terrible, you can't go out there and say, that's terrible, I don't think you should vote for them anymore, blah, blah, blah. That kind of, you can't say things like that. You have to back us up or placate the people, distract them, do whatever you do. And that's okay. And another thing is that you have to give back 5% of any income that you bring in from tithes or whatever, property, whatever you do every year. So like I said before, if you bring in £1 million in tithes profit, pure money, you have to put £50,000 back in. Now, if it was in England and I got £1 million a year out of the community around me for a building I'm in, and I only have to give £50,000 back, where's the £950,000 go? That I don't have to give back. I don't have to give it to the taxman. Where does it go? Well, some goes to the diocese. It goes to the people that own the building that you're in, that make the money. So they have to get paid. They put like 40,000 a year or something like that, 50,000 maybe for the building. Whatever. You have to pay for where you're living, which is on site. The rectory, whatever it's called. So you have to pay for that. So you still got a good 800,000 a year. So of course they go around in Benzes. Of course they're buying a private plane. Of course they do this, that, and the other. Because they've got nothing else to pay out for. They've given the 50 grand. And with that 50 grand, you supported 200 children in the community to go through college. Easy. 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 How many times am I going to say? But like, easy you could do that. You could feed, you could do cookouts every week. You could, go to pensioners and make food for them every week. Oh yes, it's all free. Just praise the Lord, praise the Lord. And the pensioners are going, hey, he does very good work in the community, that Reverend. I don't mind that he has a Rolls Royce and pays £600,000 for that tie he's wearing and that ring. I don't mind that he looks like he's a pimp. I don't mind that he sleeps with six women a week. You don't care what they do as long as they're bringing the money for your church, and your church is looked up to by everyone else because it's got the most money. And Dr. Umar Johnson just dropped it and said, look, you're being flim-flammed, hogwashed. You've been done, took. These churches do a number on you. That's what they do. That's what they're for. You know what I mean? It's a big business. It is huge business. It is one of the biggest businesses in the world, $1 trillion business. Imagine how much money the Catholic Church has in its coffers, which is literally the old Roman Empire, is now the Roman Catholic Church in Vatican. They've got a whole city. They've got a smallest city in the world, but they own the whole city. They own the whole city, lock, shackle, and bolt. Apparently, it's been estimated that they have 33 trillion sound. The big T, trillion in assets. 32 trillion. Let's see. You can cure every illness. You could feed everyone forever. Feed everyone on the planet forever. No one would have to buy another meal. You could 33 trillion easy feed everyone on the planet forever. Now, I just talked about Donald Trump, right? He owes 350 million. That's a third of a billion. When it comes down to it, it's going to be around $500 million that he'll have to pay back. $500 million. And on that, he has to pay £100,000 per day interest. So, let's talk about it. For 365 days in 1 year, I take £100,000 that I made on the interest of my 350 million I've got in my bank, and I just use it for community stuff, just as a philanthropic thing, like I'm a Bill Gates guy. Imagine his interest on his 100 billion. This is 350 million, and he's getting £100,000 a day interest he has to pay on it, which means if it was in a bank, he'd be earning £100,000 interest a day. Are you listening yet? He'll be earning £100,000 a day interest. Imagine them lottery winners. Imagine you're a lottery winner. You win the big one, 166 million. Rollover lottery's been going on for weeks and weeks. No one's won it. You won it. You're the single winner. 166 million. Imagine, £50,000 a day interest on that. You can easily just put that 160 million in a bank and then open up another account where your interest goes into, and then live off that. I've got to do it. I've got to do it. I've got to find out. I've got my calculator. I'm going to work it out. I'm going to work it out. I didn't know I was going to talk about this, but I'm going to work it out. So you're a lottery winner. You got 150 mil, 160 mil, whatever, winning, and you put it all in an account, and then the interest goes into another account, and that adds up to, in the year, 18.25 million in interest in 1 year. $18 million. You've not even got a pen and wrote a letter to someone and saying, do you think we could do this? Nothing. You've done nothing. You've not even got out of your bed for 1 year, and you've earned 18 million. There's footballers out there running up and down. They get paid far too much, but they've only got a short life as a footballer, and so therefore they're working for 5 years basically for the rest of their life. I don't know what they want to do afterwards. They might go into business or something with 200 million in the bank, but they're making. There's the biggest ones out there, the ones we only talk about. They're £1 million a day, something like that. Some crazy amount. Since they've gone on to Dubai now, they're on even worse. But there's many players in the league earning £100,000 a week. £100,000 a week, and you know, they just what do they do with it? What would they do? They obviously put it into business and it accrues interest and blah blah blah. And so, you know, they become a business. They literally become a business, and so, you know, they're getting ready for their retirement. All this money, they're not saving it, but they are investing it. They are moving it, and they are doing things with it. And they might buy a car. They might buy, but you £100,000, you could buy a sports car every day. 18 million in interest. So yeah, Dr. Umar Johnson is not playing, and he's absolutely correct. And it's something that should be talked about. Like if I talked about this every week, you'd say I was obsessed. But after a couple of months, you'd be saying every week you talk about this, and the churches are still not doing anything more. Where does all the money go? And then I start doing investigations. Oh, money goes there, goes Vatican, that goes there. They're still last year they earned 252,000 in tithes, and it all went to the pastor or the deacon or whatever. You know, the community got 30 grand out of it. You know. But you know, you ever wondered how these churches that have got no one in them stay open? It's because the people that are making mega millions in the church in America put their money to the diocese, and the diocese pays for your church in England, just so in the future he's got an asset that will pay him back later on. But for me to go in there as a community group and say, this is a church is not being used. Can I use it, please? I can have 500 people a week coming in there. Just let me use it. What's going on? Oh no. Oh no, this is owned by the church and they will not relinquish their power over it. They would lend it to you an exorbitant amount every month, but they will not relinquish their land and their buildings on it. And so it's a crazy world. And once you get into the money part of it, you realize how powerful these people are and why they're not changing, because it's their scam, it's their thing, it's their hustle. And it will not change. I've been talking about this for decades. Anytime, because everyone knows I'm atheist. I feel my feelings on when you say God made everything, I just say prove it, and you can't prove it, so therefore I don't believe. That makes me atheist. But then I started getting bored with just telling people how ridiculous it is to go by their book, or how you know, slavery is in it. Why should I follow it? You know, they love slavery. They don't condemn it. They condone it. That I could go on forever about the foolishness, the evil, the stupidity, and why I don't like it. But when I just say, okay, let's go with this. What has your church done this week? And then ask me what I've done this week. And I'm one person, but I've done more than your church. That's crazy, isn't it? And your church got all the assets, all building, everything. But I've done just as much. I've helped people just as much. Do you see what I mean? So it's one of them things where you say, okay, well, the church helped 50 people. I go, this is a church, it's massive. But I helped 5 people with nothing. So who's better here? Who should be doing more? Do you see what I'm saying? It's like we give them far too much of a leeway. over over stuff that means nothing. Okay, you go up to me, yeah, God created everything. Good, great. What's he done for me lately? Just like Eddie Murphy used to say, well, how has he done for me lately? What's he done for you lately? What's he done for anything lately? God wiped the world clean and started over again with 8 people. Right, so wait a minute, when you're saying that, he's so powerful that he just caused a tsunami and wiped out everything, all life on the planet, but 8 people, and when the war went away, just these 8 people with no grass, no animals, or just the animals that are on the ark, who by some miracle didn't eat each other, and basically caused so much defecation that it would have filled up half the ship, and they didn't have all the microbes, and they didn't have any. How many drafts do they have? Come on, come on! It's silly, silly, silly. Okay, it's just a story. Okay, it's just. But you have to say to yourself, you're going to bring up my children with these stories. I don't think so. I think I'd rather teach them about Edison, while we're teaching them about George Washington Carver, while we're teaching them about Benjamin Franklin, anything that gives them some edification on how to get some more control over nature and understand what's going on around them, rather than these fairy tales, which have a use, but not while we're adults. And it annoys me to even have to argue with these people, and to argue with people that continually go to church every week. Oh, but the Lord will give me so he will return. When? Maybe 2,000 years. When's he coming back? He's supposed to come back in the lifetime of the child he was talking to. He's supposed to come back in the lifetime of the child and the people that were gathered when he was talking to them. In your lifetime, this will happen. Yeah, it happened. So he ain't coming back. Didn't exist to come back. I could go on for what I really do with the churches. I just say, what are you doing with all this? If you're so successful, what are you doing? Well, how is the community benefiting from it? How comes I can't benefit just because I'm an atheist? Why isn't it my community and myself are not benefiting? Why is the community benefiting and I'm not benefiting? It's because I don't go to your church. It just doesn't make any sense. There's one way to think about this is, okay, they're only going to benefit the people that believe in their scam. And the others can go to hell. Or you can think of it as, you didn't put anything in this, so why should he benefit from it? I'm like, well, I'm a human and your God loves me. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And I completely agree with Dr. Umar Johnson. He did try to raise money. I'm not sure if he even done it, but he was trying to raise like 2 million to buy a school and redevelop it for a school for black children, to be taught the ways that we used to be taught, and not have to kowtow to the man, basically, because the school is owned and it's private and it's paid for by the families that go there. And then he had a bit of problem with some woman, and then his reputation kind of went down. I don't know what happened to him in that regard. I don't know if he got raised all the money and people accused him of fraud and stuff like that. But what you can't say, what you can't argue with, is the things that he comes out with. You can disagree on certain things, but like this video right here, I'm a person just listening to a video, and I'm like, yeah, what did they do with all that money? They just open the doors to everything, and they do they build houses for homeless people? And it takes like 40 grand to build a house. You could build a really big house and put 20 people in it. Get them off the street, get them working for the church, whatever. But like, none of that gets happened. They just perpetuate. They just feed them a meal. They'll go to the park and make a cookout and say, "Oh, come and get your meal for today. Go and get your meal. We'll be here tomorrow. Blah blah. We give you another meal." Give me the damn fishing rod instead of giving me a damn fish. Nothing's getting cured. Nothing's getting sorted. And the little money that they give back, which is massive to us, gets used. And so we look at them like, oh, they're wonderful. The church is awesome. I would thoroughly recommend being in a church. They do for the community. But they're really not doing enough. They could do 10 times more than what they're doing. But they're so freaking greedy. Happens. Funnily enough, the noise, what my neighbours is exactly what I'm talking about in what sparks me off, which is going on right now. What sparks me off today, let me put up. Let me put up the I don't know what's going on with this. There it is. Good thing you can't see what I'm saying. It just annoy you. There you go. Yes, what sparks me off? See, this angry face is my demon face. You like me saying demon? Eyes, yes, call them demon. What sparks me off this week on show 395, yes, I've found nearly 400 things that spark me off because I'm a fairly angry person. What sparks me off is noisy neighbours, constantly noisy neighbours, not just noisy incidentally, constantly noisy. Like they're at it again. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Now let me explain myself because a lot of people are saying out loud with your chest, you're a freaking hypocrite, Blaps. We know you. You're a noisy bastard. Yeah, I've been known to throw a party or two, and I've had complaints, and I've had people send the police out on me, and I've even had noise abatement notices from the council. You're causing too much noise, and I was like, okay, that makes sense because I did put a busker speaker as an extension speaker to my laptop and played music out. And so the people above me complained. And because they saw who was living below them and said, I ain't talking to him. And I got a letter and I just laughed. I laughed. And I thought, okay, this is simple. The laptop that I had at the time didn't have the external speaker. So I had to plug an external speaker. The only one that I had at the time was a big busking speaker I was using for jamming. So I plugged it in, being me, and just let it play. I didn't realise I was causing that much, torment for the people above me. But I started noticing that afterwards, because I would play it every minute of the day. Like anytime I played it, they would stamp on the floor and drop stuff, like a box of. I know it sounds like shoes. A box of shoes, just like, music plays, stuff drops. Music stops. Nothing. Let me think about this for a minute. So I realized, okay. When the letter came, I was like, I see you. I see what's going on. All right, I got it. So I just put in a headphones. Simple. No more complaints. I'm not talking about things like that and incidental parties. I'm talking about the people that work on their car every day. Babies constantly crying every single day. Was your baby sick for the whole year? You're not feeding that baby for the whole year? Why is it crying all the time? Your baby is ill. There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with that baby. Okay. Yeah, but you can't go over there. You can't knock on the door. Can you shut your baby up, please? It's a baby. It does that. That's what they do. And why do you come here? There's no more babies in these 3 blocks here. There's no babies, just yours. And it cries all the time. And I'll tell you, I've had people living here. So I'm in a block. I'm in a secure block. So you can't get in unless I buzz you in, right? So you do some trickery. So so in the block. So the people that are in here live here. There's not many visitors. So the neighbours know each other, kind of know each other. So when they first came in, there was a person that lived upstairs with a baby, and to me, it's down the street. It's like, but to the neighbour across the front there, I was like, wow. If that was me, I would go across and kick their door in and throw that baby down. I was, thinking mental stuff. I wouldn't. But like, you just understand. You understand. It's the relentless of it. There's a woman I know, a good friend of mine, that had a neighbor who had a noise, just a hum coming from their house, a steady hum. And I'm just like that, you get in my fridge. My fridge is loud. Can you hear it? But really sensitive mic. Probably, but it's like that. But like, she couldn't find it anywhere in her yard, and it was driving her mental. And she'd write about it on Facebook and tell everyone, just imagine, I need council come around there. They've told me I'm not going. It's not in my house, and the frequency is gritting my teeth, is mashing me up, is dealing with her mental health, and this is what I'm talking about. People don't understand. She obviously went to the neighbours and said, "What is it causing?" They couldn't find it. No one could find it. It's like electricity was vibrating in the walls or something. She couldn't get. No one could get to it. It's just making it better. And yeah, this is the kind of sounds I'm talking about. The relentless of them. The constant operation, constant. It's, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Yeah, them. So people having arguments, um, home improvements going on for months at a time. Just like, ain't you fixed it yet? Ain't you changed it yet? Haven't you finished the table yet? Okay, so you're moving out, or you've just moved in and you're changing a few things in the apartment, but you sound like you've totally rearranged the whole apartment from scratch. It's just 7 months this is going on for. Come on. It's silly. Like engines, like we talked about before, music, obviously, and babies. It's just have a bit of thoughtfulness for your neighbours. It's mental health. It impairs your mental health. You get vexed because you can't just walk across and kick their door in and deal with whatever's making the noise. You can't do that. You have to complain, and that takes weeks. You have to wait for the complaint to come through, and it may not be in your favour, and it may just make it louder. And you got them people that are obnoxious. They just like, what? You can't hear the music? Get your own radio. Well, the music's too loud. Get your own radio. I turn it down. It's I've had neighbours like that, and they've regretted living next to me after, because I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not that I'm not that nice neighbour who's saying, I'm dreadfully sorry about that, oh boy. Tad tardy on my account. I'll sort that out post haste, and I'm give you a bottle of wine and some cushions for you to go to sleep. It will never happen again. But no, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. Yeah. So, and I know there's some people that are going to see the show and they're going to say, "Remember when you had the band and you used to do jamming?" And I was like, "Yeah." When I was on the street and you were jamming, I was at the top of the street and you were at the other side of the street, and like a good 300 feet long street, and I could hear your band. Imagine the neighbours next to you. And I was like, yeah, but we had an agreement. They knew they would start at 7:30 and finish around 10 on 1 day a week. So they knew we came to a compromise. And I was in the garage, so I was away from the other neighbours, you know what I mean, totally direct. And we padded out the garage and we did things to make it so they all the whole street knew 10 is going to be off. Watch. See, told you. So, and they knew it. And so it's for 1 day a week, and they knew. But if I was constantly jamming, and I didn't give a damn who was on the street, and 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm yeah, there'll be worries. Not lots of children on that street where I was living, and my kids are trying to sleep. I was free at that point, you see, because I had a whole yard to myself, and I had a media room, and I had a gym, and I had a library, and and so I was basically living in a yard where 3 people should be living in it, and I was by myself, and I was like, you know what I could do with that room? I could put in big speakers that I've got in storage. I could, yeah, put them in there, and clear out my 3,000 watt amplifier through my stereo. Yeah, that'd be cool. And I could put the decks on and bust some music and blend it out. And I could put my drum kit in it. Yeah, the drum kit. But I was, it could not have been nice living next to me at that point. But then the neighbours would come around and say, can you, I know you want to practice. I know I can't, you know, when you come around and jam, you got to jam somewhere. So you're jamming in the garage, which is outside pretty much, and it's thin walls. It's not like it's in the house. So we moved out of the garage and went into my media room and jammed in there for a while. So it's you can be nice to your neighbours, and if you know you're going to be living with your neighbours for years, you could be there for years. You can't have this animosity going on. So have a bit of thoughtfulness. Is all I'm saying. Is all I'm saying. I'm not trying to say be a hypocrite, Vic, and you used to be a noisy bastard. So and now now you're telling us not to be no because you've grown up and you're old codger now. You lost a tooth last week, see that? Lost a tooth last week. Just fell out. Just crazy, isn't it? Yeah. And so yeah, I'm gonna so you're old codger, so that's why you're thinking like this, because you don't like anyone that I have the music. No, it's because I have thoughtfulness, I'm thoughtful, and I have respect for my neighbours, and I understand that if I was doing that, it would be annoying, and if they were doing constant stuff, it would be annoying. So when they make the odd noise, when they've got a party going on, I don't do nothing. I just go out, or I put my headphones on and play my music in my head, and I'll just listen to a film on TV or something with my headphones, noise cancelling, and all that kind of stuff. So it's all good. But the other next door neighbour that ain't got headphones, and they have to go through hell. So again, just a bit of thoughtfulness, people, helps the world get smooth. we are done. That is it for today. That was BLAPPS TARK, Better Living and Positive Propaganda System, talking about real knowledge. We talked about over here, we talked about the effect on the people sensibility with the budget. Does it really matter? Why are they telling us? Why don't they just tell the other party what we're going to put up and what we're not going to put up? It's only for elections they're doing it for. We're not stupid. We've gone through having elections, they've come out of their bougie, and you know, it's affecting big businesses and stuff like that. Why are they telling the person on the street that it doesn't matter anyway? But like, we know what you're up to, and we're not impressed. And because Labour's coming in and you're going out, you're just left a massive dump on them, and you just want to laugh about it in the Commons until the election comes around, so you don't have to talk about Gaza, which is your bad. Anywho, we talked about over there, which was, is Donald Trump really going down for all of his crimes after all, or will he still be greasy and Teflon-like up until the end? He's got 350 million, almost 500 million to pay out because of many cases he's going through right now. 91 indictments, four indictments, 91 charges. And he's being fined left, right, and centre. 85 million to one, 350 million to another, and various other things loaded on top of the charges and the fines and levies. And finally, people are beginning to see he is a total sham and a con artist. He's default in everything he ever does. I had a picture to put up about his Trump University, his vodka, his casinos. How can you go bankrupt after owning a casino? Mr. Trump, how did you do that? How did you lose money owning a casino? You're a big businessman, apprentice, and all that. That made no sense. We not going to them shit. Celebrity community, we talked about Dr. Umar Johnson talking about churches and what they're not delivering for decades, which is schools, gardens, and banks. Basically, I've told so many church people, well, you should be the bank, the local, our bank. We put money into you. You should be putting it and investing it into the community that are giving you tithes and keeping you going. You only have a church because of us. So why don't you give our children a chance to grow? Give them money so they can start a small business with the education they got from you, your school, you know, and be an integral part in the growth of a nation. You know, instead of just taking the money, rubbing your hands and waiting for your aircraft to come in that you ordered. It's crazy. It makes me mad even saying it out loud again. But yeah, Dr. Umar Johnson's always been a real one, and he's a good mate of mine. I've met him when he came over. We've talked via email before on certain things. He's influenced me to become a foster father, and that was awesome. And I will always be grateful for his influence in that happening. And it's just because of what he says. I just have to think about it for a few minutes. And I was like, yeah, why not? And I'm not about I'm going to live forever, and I'm not about I'm going to live till next week either. I could easily be knocked down by a bus tomorrow, and so therefore my dreams that I've been hoping for things to happen. The last thing you talked about was hope, robbing the people of hope. I'm like, I don't give a damn about hope. I want things to happen. I'm not going to hope things happen. I'm going to make things happen. So when he talked about that, I was like, whatever, you know what I mean? But like, I think more about it. It's just that if you're going to take away the dreams of someone, you better be ready for the repercussions of that, because No one likes their dreams being taken away. No one lets their dream get taken away unless they're under some serious pressure. And so that with that pressure, you either make a diamond or you make dust. And if it's a diamond, you could be cut by it because you're not hard enough. All right. So be careful what you procure from your torment. You may just find something that cuts you. That's very deep for me, very philosophical. Yes, and things that spark me off. What sparks me off today? We talk about noisy neighbours. Noisy neighbours come with constant noise, the constant droning, the constant barrage of music, or just a humming of a radio in the background playing all day, every day. Just imagine if someone was playing speeches of Malcolm X or something every day, loud. It'd be irritating. You want to listen because he's chatting sense, but all day, but nothing else to play. Reminds me of that Do the Right Thing, where Radio Raheem playing Public Enemy tunes. You ain't got nothing else? I like this. He's just walking up and down the street blaring his radio. People are like, come on, man, what the... Irritating, yeah. So have some be thoughtful. And, the world will spin a little gentler. So that's it for today. I'm going to be here next week, as usual, with a spiel. You can catch me on Discord with the gaming channel, fightme.uk.com on Discord. And you can find me on Twitch, chatting about games and martial arts, who's fighting who's getting fat. And you can see me on Patreon, talking about classes, showing the video of classes of Wing Chun again, Kung Fu, and talking about Kung Fu and how to become better at Kung Fu. You can get all them videos there, and a lot of videos of chats that I've done on YouTube under BLAPPS U2, BLAPPS, the letter U, the number 2. BLAPPS U2 is my media channel on YouTube, where you can find all my videos. There are some of them are shown on Patreon because they got deeper content, and so you can get into the deeper stuff on Patreon. You have to pay a little on that, just a little bit, to become a member, to get the good nitty-gritty videos that you can obviously better yourself with. So we are on Facebook, obviously. There's about 30 odd groups on Facebook to do with BLAPPS and the CDMA and Warriors Workshop and stuff that I'm interested in, music mostly. But again, find me out on Sifu_BLAPPS on Facebook. And you can talk to me via Patreon, via Proton Mail. That's it, Sifu_BLAPPS at protonmail.com. You can ask me for requests, subjects to talk about in BLAPPS Tark, and ask me about what I've got planned in the future. And of course, go to https://cdma.uk.com/ to get to the website to understand what the CDMA is doing in the community, what we're going to achieve in the future, and how you can help become a CDMA member yourself and become part of the Martial Arts Anti-Bullying Collective, which is an instructor that goes into schools under the CDMA guidance and teaches anti-bullying techniques and communication and conflict management, and of course martial arts and Warriors Life classes. We teach a lot in schools, and it's great. So you can become part of that and change the youth to be stronger members of the community, warriors of the community, by just give me a chat and understand how to do it. It can only benefit your school after all. And I think that's it. I think I've covered every base. The third base? Anyway, you have been blapsed. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it. And I'll say, Jolan true. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Lord, kumbaya.